Hi everyone, it's Miss Michelle. So today is Monday and our small group is going to cover a whole bunch of things. Um, Let me make myself not so bright. There we go. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to start doing from now on in small groups and in morning meeting today, if you were there with us, is really talk about our names and why are names so important. Oh, because they're part of who we are. And one thing that you're going to have to do is write your name on your papers all the time while you're in school. That way, us teachers know whose paper we're looking at. When you're an adult and a grown-up, I write my name on so many things. So it's really important that we learn what our name looks like and how to write our own name. And so some of you already know that. And if you do, awesome. Keep working on it and make it look beautiful. So it's very clear and everybody will know that yes, that is your paper, or yes, that is you who drew that beautiful picture, whatever you wrote your name on. Those of us who are still working on the letters of our name, that's okay. It takes a lot of practice, but now's the time to practice. So we're going to start off our small group. Go ahead and pause me right now if you don't have a piece of paper. But in your learning kits, Miss Michelle gave everybody a piece of paper that kind of looks like this, but with your name on it. And the reason why I did that is because it has 1, 2, 3, 4 different spots. And so today is Monday, so we're going to practice our name on this line today. So go ahead and stop the video, go get this or a piece of paper and something to write with, and then go ahead and start the video again. So I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see mine. This is actually not my name. This is my daughter's name, and her name is Maddie. Maddie. And I'm going to show you how she writes her name. And just because it's kind of shorter for this video. So remember, when we start our letters, when we say the top, if you look at this, this is the top line right here. This is that middle line, and this is the bottom. And so we always start our letters at the top and we go down, right? And so we're just gonna today worry about this line right here because it's Monday's line. So Maddie. Maddie starts with what letter? M. Second letter, A, D, and Y. So I'm going to show you how I'd write her name. If I already know how to write my name, I could just begin. If I have a hard time, I can look at this letter and maybe I might just want to go ahead and practice copying over it a few times until I feel like I got this, right? So last week we learned the letter M, right? We start at the top and we drop straight down and hop to the top, down, up, down, and then we stop, right? But your name probably doesn't start with an M. So whatever your name starts with, you're going to write that letter here first. And then you're going to go to the second letter of your name. And her name has an A in it. So I start at the top because we always start at the top, hop to the top, come down. And I see there's a line in the middle. Now her D again, start at the top, drops down. She has a big rainbow and a Y. Drop down. Okay, and so I can practice her name again because there's more space. But if you don't have enough space, maybe get another sheet of paper. Or if you have this sheet protector, what's nice about it, I can't find my marker really quickly, but I can actually erase it and try again. But if you just want to practice one letter today, that's fine. We're just going to really try really hard to practice our name at least once a day from now on. So that's our first activity. Go ahead and pause this where it's at and practice your name, and then you can either unpause it or you can write your name after this is all done. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Now, the second thing I really want to talk about is our rhyme. If you were there at morning meeting this morning, you met a little boy, and his name is Willie. Here he is. And he's short, so they gave him a nickname, Wee Willie. And that just means he's the shorter guy. And his last name is Winkie, Wee Willie Winkie. And if you remember from this morning, or some of you who couldn't join us this morning, he has a special job. And so every night at 8 o'clock, he puts on his pajamas, and he must live in a really silly town because we don't do this. You stay in your house. But every night, for whatever reason, Wee Willie Winkie gets dressed in his pajamas and he runs through his town, and it says he's tapping on the windows. And so he takes his fist and he taps on everyone's windows and he peeps through the locks. And so our locks probably aren't that big, but the lock in the door, he tries to peek through it to see if the other children are sleeping. And so we learned this rhyme. And the reason I picked this rhyme today was because our special letter of the week is W. Remember, we do this, W. And his name actually has 3 W's in it. Wee, Willie, Winkie. And so I thought it was the perfect time to show you his special rhyme because it has that W sound in it a lot. Whoa. W is a weird one, remember? It doesn't start with a D like W, because D already makes that sound, but it gave it the W sound. Ooh, I kind of like making the W sound. Okay, so instead of me acting it out, I'm going to show you a video of Wee Willie Winkie, and it'll show him running around trying to make sure that everybody is fast asleep because it's 8 o'clock. Here we go. Here he is right here. That's Wee Willie Winkie. Let's see what he does.
Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs in his nightgown. Tapping at the windows and crying through the locks. Are all the children in their beds? It's past 8 o'clock.
Excellent. So I'm going to stop right there. So that was Wee Willie Winkie. And again, Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town in his nightgown, going upstairs and downstairs in his nightgown, tapping at the windows and crying in the locks. Are the children fast asleep? Because it's 8 o'clock. And we're going to talk about that all week. So again, that's the letter W, and that's why we picked that rhyme this week. And tomorrow we're going to learn how to write the letter W. So I'm going to move that over here. Okay, so I want to also now talk about a couple things that are in your learning kit. So you can either just watch or you can pause me once I get the materials and you can try to do them with me. So the one thing I want to talk about is our scissor practice, and everybody should have scissors. If you don't, tell your grown-ups to message me and I will get you another pair. And remember, when we cut, I gave you these fireman cutting practice sheets, so go ahead and go get that and a pair of scissors, or you can do it after this meeting. And I want to just remind you, we don't want to look like chickens when we cut. So we don't want our wings out here. We want our elbows close to our sides, glued to our sides. And then our scissors, I'm going to get a pair of kid scissors to show you. So your scissors look like this, and they have a very small hole. This small hole is for your thumb, and it's small because only one thing goes in there, your thumb. And it always stays on top, like thumbs up. And then this, you can put 2 fingers in, the next 2 fingers beside, like this. And your other fingers can just support underneath it. So I'm going to keep my elbows in, my thumb up. It always stays up. I don't want to turn it down because that's thumbs down. That means boo. We want to keep our thumbs up. And this hand, really all it does is open and close. Open and close. Go ahead and practice that a few times before you cut. And we're not going to move this hand a lot. This hand kind of stays still, like right here at our chest. And the paper, though, can move. So if I'm cutting that straight line at the top, it's probably not going to move very much. So I'm going to try to keep it very still as I cut because it's a nice straight line, but I am going to move the paper forward. I'm not going to move my hand out. I'm going to keep my scissors here, but I'm going to move the paper toward me until I get to that ladder. I did it. But this line, I'm going to have to move my paper a little because it's a curved line. Do you see that curve? And so I'm going to have to use the hand that's holding the paper, and I want to make sure I have control of my paper. And I'm just going to, when I get there, I'm opening and closing my scissors, and I'm kind of just turning the paper just a little and staying on there. So again, as you complete your cutting activities this week, go ahead and try to see if you can stay on the line. And if you can't, that's okay. We really just want to keep practicing. The more you practice something, the better you get at it. And you can do all 3 of these today. You can leave a couple for tomorrow. whatever you want to do, but try to be cutting at least every other day. Okay, everyone, cutting is really important. Okay, I'm going to put those off to the side. Excellent. Oh, I'm so glad that you guys are doing such a great job of listening today. I have two more things that I want to do with you. Okay, in your learning kit, you're going to see these, it has three clothespins on them, and then there's a whole bunch of different ones with just different objects that community helpers would use, and I just picked one of them. We're only going to do a couple with Miss Michelle, and then you can do the rest with a grown-up or with a brother and sister. But how this works is you're going to look at how many objects are here, and this looks like a little medicine cup. Maybe someone wasn't feeling well, but how many do I have here? Do I have 2, 3, or 1? So when we count, we always start with the number 1. Ready? 1. Only 1. So I'm going to take my clothespin, and it takes a lot of work to open and to pinch them. I'm going to pinch it, and I'm going to put it right on that number 1. Excellent. And if you're not quite sure which one was the number 1, you could ask a grown-up to let you know which one of those numbers was 1. If you already know, you can do it yourself. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Sorry, the light's a little silly. So I see some bandages there. So there's either going to be 5, 3, or 7, but we're going to start back counting at 1, okay? Let's see how many bandages are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one of these is the number 5? I see it. There's the number 5. So I'm going to pinch my clothespin right over top of that number 5. And now I know that there were 5 bandages. I'm going to do that for the last one. So those look like medicine bottles. Don't ever open medicine bottles. They're only for grown-ups, but we can count them. So we're going to start back at 1, and we're going to see how many medicine bottles are there. Count with me. Oops. 1, 2. Stop. Because there are only 2. We don't want to be more or less. So which one of these says 2? It's this one right here. So I'm going to pinch my clothespin, and I'm going to cover that 2. And then I can have a grown-up check my answers, or I can unclip them, and I can do the other side. And you have a bunch different sides, and you can keep practicing these all week. I love these so much. Okay, great job. Kiss your brains. Wonderful. I have one last thing I want to do with you, and that is our story. So let's quickly talk about our story for today. And you know, this is a little book, and we always read our books from the front to the back. And on the front cover of our books, sorry friends, actually let me share my screen because the light's a little silly for me right now. Here we go. So again, here's my little book, and it has a bunch of different pages. This one doesn't have the page numbers on every page, but let's see. It looks like there are 6 pages, but we want to start from the front and go to every single page until we get to the end. So let's take a look at the front. The front cover is super important. Remember, this is where the title of the book is going to be, and we can tell how many words are on the title because there's a space between each of the words, that blank space. So that tells me that this word ended and this word begins. And so let's see, there's only 1, 2 words on this title, words in this title, and the title is The Baker. The Baker. And that's really cool because the illustration also shows me a little baker. And we did that all last week where we learned about how bakers wear those big hats to let them know that they were the ones cooking. Yeah, and she looks like a little baker. So let's see what this book is about. So I'm going to turn the page because we always, we don't want to skip any pages. And we want to go to page 1. And when I want to read from the left to the right, and I'm going to make sure that I read every word and then look at the picture. So I see that this is a mixer. Maybe some of you have a mixer like this in your kitchen. I do. Mine is blue though. It says, I see a mixer. I see a mixer. There were 4 words on that page. And I do see a mixer. Do you guys know what that is? That's a tool that bakers use. This is called a spatula. And so you can clear the bowls and get all that good frosting off the bowls with this tool. It says, I see a spatula. And I noticed that there is a pattern going. It keeps saying, I see a, I see a. So you can say it with me for the next one. Yep. Do you know what this is? It's a wooden spoon. You can read along with me. I see a wooden spoon. Oh, great job. You know what that is? It's a rolling pin. You can roll out Play-Doh or dough in general. We use these in the classrooms a lot.
Do your students like watching
Oh no,
explosions, cute animals, and awesome science experiments?
something is playing. Let me stop that. Okay, friends, I'm so sorry. Oh no. Oh goodness, here we go. I see a rolling pin. See what we're going to see on this page. Ooh, this is something that you wear to take things out of the oven. It's called an oven mitt. And so it makes it so that you can touch hot things without burning your hands. This is an oven mitt. What color is it? It's red. You can say it with me. I see the oven mitt. Excellent. And we're on the last page. What do we see on this page? She's a baker. I see the baker. Excellent. And that's the end of that book. So this book was all about things that bakers use to bake. And you have this book in your learning kit. And I hope that maybe you can get this out of your learning kit later and go ahead and read this with a grown-up, and you can now tell them like what all those things were that bakers use. Okay, friends, that's all for today's small group. Thank you for joining me. Make sure that you're practicing your name, that you're reading with your grown-ups those books that are in your thing. And also, it was so fun rhyming with you with Wee Willie Winkie. And you guys did great with the cutting and listening. I can't wait to hear about how great you did on cutting. And then go ahead and do some counting later today after this video is over. Oh, okay. I love you guys. We wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. We clap our hands for all our friends. We wave goodbye like this. Okay, I love you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Go ahead and make sure you listen to the read aloud.